Everything I'm sharing here comes from personal experience, working cruise contracts. This isn't legal advice. Contracts vary by company and country. Always read your agreement carefully and speak to a professional if you're unsure. Cruise ship contracts. The fine print. You probably skipped. Most cruise ship contracts aren't misleading, but they're not fully explained either, and that difference matters. When I signed my first cruise contract, I thought I understood it. I had read it. I had skimmed the clauses. I saw the duration, the pay, the expectations. What I didn't understand was how those words would actually feel once I was on board. Let's start with contract length. Most cruise contracts run anywhere from 4 to 6 months. On paper, that sounds manageable. 4 months goes by fast, right? But the contract doesn't explain the rhythm of life at sea. There are no traditional weekends. There's no real off switch. Even when you're not performing, you're still living inside the workplace. I've literally lived on the water for 6 to 7 years of my life. When I first started in the cruise industry, my contracts were 3 months, then 6. Some stretched close to a year. My very first ship didn't even have a piano. I was hired as a piano player-singer and ended up playing a Hammond B3 organ. That's a big shift from a coastal grand. My drummer came with me. We adapted fast. On a ship, you don't complain. You adjust. Years later, I found out that ship was eventually sold to Disney. And, ironically, I later performed on a Disney cruise ship. Now here's the twist. Disney ships are built for families, but as an adult entertainer with my style of music, there is only one adults-only venue, the Cadillac Bar. Chairs made from Cadillac seats. Living inside the workplace. You're eating there, sleeping there, socializing there, being observed there. The contract tells you the duration. It doesn't tell you the intensity. Next, termination language. Almost every cruise contract contains a clause that allows the company to terminate the agreement at its discretion. That phrase is common in many industries. It's not unusual, but it's broader than most performers realize. Discretion means the company determines whether standards were met. That can include performance quality, conduct, behavior, or alignment with brand expectations. It doesn't mean you're constantly at risk, but it does mean the power structure is clear. The contract doesn't spell out how that discretion feels in practice. It just exists quietly in the fine print. Another point that often gets overlooked, contractor status. When you sign a cruise contract, nobody tells you how fast you'll have to adapt. I went from a coastal grand piano on land to a Hammond B3 organ at sea. Totally different feel, totally different energy, and you're not rehearsing for weeks. You're performing immediately. Different audiences every night, different cultures, different expectations. And here's what entertainers don't understand. Cruise ships don't pay you to be comfortable. They pay you to deliver, no matter the setup. If the piano key's out of tune, if the sound system changes, if the venue is redesigned mid-contract, you adjust. Because on a cruise ship, flexibility isn't optional. It's survival. Contractor status. Many entertainers are hired as independent contractors, not traditional crew members. That distinction matters. Contractors may not receive the same protections, benefits, or internal support systems as direct employees. Your relationship to the company is structured differently. That doesn't make it bad. It just makes it important to understand. Finally, off-stage conduct. Most contracts include language about professionalism, representation of the brand, and behavior on board. Those clauses don't turn off when the show ends. You're not just hired for your performance. You're hired for your presence. Cruise contracts aren't traps. They're structured agreements. But structure only works in your favor when you understand it clearly before you sign. In the next episode, we'll break down the difference between being crew and being a contractor.